Thank you, Pastor Chair. And I'd like to take the moment to remind you that we left behind a couple of items. So I'd like to suggest for us to go back again to 419.
Let's do it, Pastor.
Very good. So look at in your agenda, look at number 419, which is on page 80. And the reference number is 430, as it appears on the screen. And you heard several times, we heard today and yesterday about the importance of attending the needs of the whole church and serving the community in a proper way and being effective as we meet the needs of the community and integrate different groups of people. And this is an initiative from the General Conference to establish a totally new service or reformat one of the ministries as it being called Adventist Possibility Ministries. And the rationale is this addition to the church manual emphasizes the importance of including all church members in ministry. So the purpose is not just to attend the special needs of certain groups of people, but it's also to empower those this group that may have special needs to be engaged in ministry. So it's twofold, not only to meet the needs, but also equip and empower people for ministry. So it is recommended to add a new section, Adventist Possibility Ministry, in the chapter 8 of the church manual, where you have church officers and local church officers and organizations, following departments and other organizations on page 87. Well, Pastor Chair, we have a 1.5 page. I'll be glad to read. It's up to you if we read the whole thing or summarize the main content.
I will appreciate if you can summarize the content, please.
I'm sure you will, and a lot of people in this room also. I believe many of you have read this document. It is an outstanding document. It took a couple of years. You're going to be amazed when you hear some of the details of this recommendation. But the Adventist Possibility Ministries, as is stated here in the first paragraph, you see it's an initiative that was established to extend a compassionate and inclusive ministry of Jesus and seeks to inspire, equip, and mobilize those with special needs and those who are deaf. On the second paragraph, you see all are in search of wholeness, and they need to be treated with dignity, regardless of any limitation they may have. So this global initiative encompasses a ministry for those with special need and the deaf, along with seeking opportunities to minister with them. You notice that, right? Not just to ministry to them, but ministry with them. On the next paragraph, you see on the third paragraph on page 80, the following statement of Ellen White underscores the importance of this work. I saw, she said, that it is in the providence of God that the widows and orphans, the blind, the deaf, the lame, and persons afflicted in a variety of ways have been placed in close Christian relationship to His church. It is to prove His people and develop their true character. Angels of God are watching to see how we treat these persons who need our sympathy, love, and disinterested benevolence. This is God's test of our character. It came to my mind, Brother Chair. Yesterday, I was talking for just a couple of minutes with a young lady working in our hotel. I know most of you don't have breakfast in your hotel, but in ours we do have. And the lady is serving us every day. She's pregnant in the last few weeks, and she's working hard, I believe, before 4 in the morning, because they start serving at 6. And I saw in that young lady a person that needs some special support. For those kind of people, not only people that are physically challenged, but emotional, social, and any other kind of stress, This is why this ministry has been organized. In the following paragraph, it says the deaf as a unique culture. And you'll see that we put in separate category because that's their request. It's not we that are labeling them that way. It's not a suggestion from the committee. This came from the exact people that now we are describing on this paragraph. They are internationally recognized as having their own set of social beliefs, behaviors, art, history, literature, traditions, values, languages, just as other cultures. Adventist Possibility Ministries leader. It is recommended that the board appoint a local Possibility Ministries leader. While it is preferable for the leader to have direct experience or education with Possibility Ministries, it is not mandatory. It is best if the leadership for this ministry is chosen from within the groups they represent. So it is an opportunity to engage people with special needs in leadership positions. And the last paragraph talks about the committee. The church board should establish a committee for Possibility Ministries to encourage members with special needs and to learn how to effectively communicate with them. It should create witnessing programs, recommend how to make church facilities more accessible, help solve transportation programs, and recommend ways to assist in the discovery of roles or ministries that bring a sense of meaning and fulfillment. The committee is chaired by the Possibility Ministries leader or leaders. If not serving as the chairperson, the pastor should be an ex officio member. And you see also resources for Possibility Ministries on notes number 9 at the church manual. Brother Chair, this is an outstanding initiative. I feel a privilege at this moment to move we accept the recommendation.
It is moved to accept this recommendation. Is seconded? Is seconded, and I see that in mic number 5 is Diana Thurber from North American Division. I would want to ask you to please speak, Sister Diana.
Thank you. I stand in support of this motion as an advocate for people who are blind through my work at Christian Record Services and as a member of the General Conference Adventist Possibility Ministries Advisory and Task Force for the Blind. I can attest that this is a very important addition to the church manual, as are the guidelines it contains for our churches. I would also like to commend Elder Larry Evans for his leadership of the GC Adventist Possibility Ministries movement throughout the world church, and his and the committee's work to ensure this church manual edition was brought to the body today. Adding this section to the church manual will raise awareness and help to ensure there is representation at the local church for anyone with a visible or hidden disability who may need accommodation, and for someone who is deaf. But even more important, we as a church will learn more about how to include all of God's children who desire to help advance the mission of our church. The body of Christ is not complete without these brothers and sisters, and often we are missing out on some wonderful people who God treasures and has also gifted for such a time as this. Jesus' ministry modeled extending love, acceptance, and value to each marginalized person he encountered. If we want to completely extend his love and ministry here on earth, we must follow his lead and more intentionally welcome and include all of God's children more fully in the life and the mission of our church. I strongly urge the delegates to vote in support of this motion. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sister Diana. And then we have in mic number 2, Patrick Johnson, Trans-European Division. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to commend the committee for including this in the church manual. It's been a long time coming, and we're very happy that this is here. I would just like to make a couple of comments on the paragraph that's entitled Adventist Possibility Ministries Leader. I think the first couple of sentences are good. It's recommended that the board appoint a local Possibility Ministries leader. While it is preferable for the leader to have direct experience or education with Possibility Ministries, it's not mandatory. Those are good sentences, I think. The next few, though, I think they're too prescriptive and should be left out. So that's lines 1, carrying on from line 1 to 5. And then we should just skip straight to, it is, however, imperative for the leader to be compassionate, etc. Those other ones, I think, are too prescriptive. Then also on the Adventist Possibility Ministries Committee, and so that's the next paragraph. That's lines 8 and onwards on page 81. I would say, instead of saying it should create witnessing programs, it should, for example, create, because otherwise people just look at this and say this is all that they need to do, and it's a whole lot more than what's written here. So just put that it's, for example, those things, and then hopefully people will think it's much more expansive. But thank you very much for including this.
Thank you for your comments, Brother Patrick. Then we have in mic number 8 to Larry Evans, who has worked hard with this document. Please, Pastor Larry Evans from the General Conference.
We are very excited about seeing this being developed here for the World Church. People, whether they can speak or see or hear, walk, whether they're orphans or vulnerable children, whether they're widows or widowed, whether they are caregivers, all of those groups fall within this special ministry. I am so pleased to hear Diane Thurber speak about the unique relationship of Possibility Ministries and Christian Record Services. We are working together globally, and it is a wonderful partnership that we have. We're happy to say that we now have just completed, just about 2 weeks ago, the Adventist Learning Community platform that is actually by the North American Division has now, we now have an online course designed to help every local church in 4 different languages: English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, as well as American Sign Language, with videos and classes to help the local church train its members for this special ministry. We really believe that God will bless this kind of compassion and its inclusiveness for the world church. Thank you. Right now, more than half of the divisions already have this implemented at the local church, conference, union, and division.
Thank you, Pastor Larry. And really we have been enjoying from here the lady who is translating in signs where you were speaking. Thank you. Now we have Jeffrey Jordan in mic number 8. Mic number 8.
Yes, I wanted to let you know I'm using American Sign Language because I am deaf. And I have a voice interpreter that you are hearing me now. The one who's speaking for me right now is Noe. The other interpreter is still interpreting. But I wanted to let you know that as I look around this room, this is the first time that I have been here as a delegate. I have been greatly impressed by the diversity that I've seen. Men and women from the global platform, everyone here, race, different people that are here on the floor. There are millions and many, many people that are deaf that are not yet represented. I'm happy to be the representative as a deaf individual here on the floor, but we are supporting this motion, this part of the church manual, to be more inclusive of deaf and blind and those who are people, that is on the list that you have read. And each person who have a possibility that the God can use. So I wanted to give my support in favor of this motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Jordan, for your comments. Thank you very much. We have Martin Altink in mic number 2, North German Union Conference, UD.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. That was a great statement. Thank you very much, the speaker before me. And it is great to have something like this in our church manual. Finally, I would say, but only the start of something which can be much bigger. And I believe the world is watching us on how we treat each other, including people with special needs. And when we treat each other well, we as a church will grow, and our motto will be there: Jesus is coming. Please get involved also in this ministry. I support this motion.
Thank you, Brother Martin, for your words. Now we have mic number 5, Pasmore Mulambo, Southern Africa Indian Ocean Division.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to add my voice in supporting the motion. It's a great direction the church is taking to include this part in our church manual. And I would like also to thank the teams that have been working with Elder Larry Evans to ensure that we reach where we are today. Now, just a little observation on the committee. Maybe it could be considered for either editorial or for future, where we're talking about the chairperson for the committee. My view or suggestion is that we could include maybe the elder in charge. Since we are putting it there in the church manual, there will be, like any other department we have, and in the local church we have an elder in charge of departments. So to be chaired by the elder in charge of that department or the leader, something like we give a provision for the church elder, just to strengthen that part in our church manual. I want to say thank you very much, and I'm here to support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Passmore. Then we have Yusuf Sege from Southeastern East Tanzania via English Zoom. Go ahead,
yeah,
Brother.
thank you, Mr. Chair. I do also comment for the motion that is put forward.
Go ahead.
But also the general observation that we have seen is that in the all amendment that have been done by in the church manual, it has left out the use of electronic membership record system. If we recall that the current, we have been promoting this Adventist church management system, but in the our amendment that we are doing, this has been left out. So I just make an appeal to the committee to look on it so that it can complement of what has been promoted and been done to our local churches. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Now we have in mic number 3, Musa Numsumbi, Northeast Tanzania Conference.
Thank you, Pastor Chair. I would like to support this motion, and I appreciate much for the World Church to look at this perspective of the Adventist Possibility Ministries and to accommodate it in the church manual. I would like just to suggest, if it is possible, maybe in the division level or in the union level, to have a special report. For instance, in my conference, we have a special book for reports of the departments and ministries, so that to make effectiveness of the this department, I would like to have maybe a special report whereby the coordinator or the responsible person can work and feel maybe every quarter, so that they can have something to evaluate. But also we can assist them or accommodate them in some different positions. We have some secondary school, primary school, we have hospitals and other entities. It is my suggestion that we can include them also, so that they can be part of the work of the mission. I appreciate you, Mr. Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Musa. Now we have in mic number 1, Paulina Villalón Álvarez, Chile Union Mission.
Gracias, presidente.
Yes, go ahead.
Como persona que trabajo en el área de las necesidades educativas especiales,
Special Needs Education,
estoy muy contenta y felicito a la iglesia por esta moción.
I am very happy and I congratulate the church for this motion.
Pero me preocupa que, o más bien, es importante considerar
But I believe it's also important to consider
que tenemos que educar a la iglesia en torno a este tema.
that we must educate our church regarding this topic.
A todos los ministerios, tanto a los de recepción,
All ministries, all those who are greeting at church,
ministerios del niño,
children's ministries,
conquistadores,
pathfinders,
aventureros,
adventurers,
y otros ministerios que se involucran directamente con las personas.
and all the other ministries that deal directly with people.
Considero que es muy relevante que haya capacitación para la iglesia
I think that it's very relevant to train the church members,
al ser un ministerio que está comenzando y que esperamos que funcione de la mejor manera,
since this is a ministry that is just beginning, and we hope that it'll work the best way possible,
para poder alcanzar a las personas que tienen estas necesidades especiales.
so we can reach those people who have special needs.
Estoy muy feliz y espero que funcione de la mejor manera.
I am very happy and I pray that it'll work the best way.
Thank you, Sister Paulina. Muchas gracias por sus comentarios. Now we have Bayou, Srestra, English Zoom, Himalayan sections, SUD.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to thank you for taking a special need, understanding their need. As we call it, sin of disregard. I myself, I'm a deaf. I cannot hear 100%. I'm a deaf. I try to have hearing it to listen what's going on. I miss lots of wonderful presentation. Could you please have closed caption on the screen whenever there's presentation going on? That's my humble request, so I can read what is happening, what people are saying. And thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you for your suggestion. Now we have Tonya Jackson from North American Division, mic number 6.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I wanted to affirm the motion. I work in corporate America. My field of professionalism would be human resources. And it brought me so much pleasure to be able to hear about Possibility Ministries. Most of the times when we interview applicants for positions, there is an essential job function that someone must be able to complete in order to be placed in a job. And I'm happy that the God we serve, the only essential job function needed is to be willing. And for us to make any changes within the church, it has to be intentional. And so this is a wonderful, intentional idea to include everybody and not just make accommodations for someone who has a disability to enter a church or be able to use the restroom, but to actually get involved because Jesus is coming. If there are no other statements, I would like to call for question and let's vote.
His call for question. Then we need to open the ballot. No, we need, yes, to vote.
Mr. Chairman, we are looking at doing that momentarily. Election buddies should be able to have that open here in a few seconds.
Then you need to vote to accept that call to previous questions.
All right, Mr. Chairman, that ballot is open.
Ballot is open. Then you can express your wish through your vote. Yes or no, and submit your ballot. And as you are voting, you can stretch, you can stand, and stretch your hands, your legs. And enjoy the music.
Mr. Chairman, after a minute of voting, we're right at 1,000 ballots. Mr. Chairman, at the halfway point, we're right at 1,100 ballots. Mr. Chairman, we're now up to 1,135 ballots.
I think we can close the ballot.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we're closing the ballot. It looks like about 1,150 were able to vote.
The decision is taken. Then let's move to take the vote about the item that has the initial motion.
All right, Mr. Chairman, it takes them just a second to switch to the new ballot. It'll be opening here momentarily. All right, Mr. Chairman, the ballot is now open for people to vote on the main motion, number 419.
Thank you, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, at about a little less than 2 minutes, we're at 777 ballots.
Take your decision and submit your ballot, please. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds to submit your ballot.
Mr. Chairman, we are now up to just under 1,000 ballots.
Forty more seconds and the ballot will be closed.
All right, Mr. Chairman, with 30 seconds left, we're at 1,035.
We can close the ballot.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we're closing the ballot. It looks like 1,049 individuals chose to vote. The results will be on the screen momentarily.
There is the vote. Thank you to all of you who has voted. Then this motion is charged.